Hi guys, how are you? How are you in this Thursday evening? I hope you guys are doing well on this Thursday evening. Um, we're very close to Christmas, like very, very close. I am so not prepared. I'm not prepared at all. I have um I have my decorations up. But I have not, well, I have one gift under the tree. Well, two gifts, and that's it. But this year, I'm not buying a lot of gifts. I've changed it for a while back now where I my kids only get two gifts. That's it. I buy them things throughout the year. So two gifts is what it is. That's what I do. I do two gifts per year, each child. So that's six gifts you know um Me and my hubby, we give each other one gift, and I'm good because we get things all year round, so it's not a big deal for us. We do things and buy things for each other all year round. um so my topic for today, guys, I know Christmas is around the corner, and a lot of people are, going through it. A lot of people are probably sad that they don't have family members that they've lost during this time, or that they don't have a parent, a child, or whoever. But I wish you guys well. I'll pray for you and hope that you have, a lot of strength throughout this holiday and a lot of peace, because I know things can be tough. If you don't have your close family member like your mom or your dad or a child that was very close to you, I wish you guys peace. Um, Pretty much that's all I can do. But what I wanted to discuss today was about emotional intelligent parents, like parents who like to curse at children, like the F word for children that's 5 or under, or 5 to, I would say, 13, young children. And I'm wondering why parents do it. Why do you curse the F word at your kids, or why do you call your children names like stupid, idiot, slow, retarded? Retardation is an actual disease. People are born that way. So why, as an adult, would you call your children those names? I'm wondering. But I know some parents or some people, they were raised that way. And so they feel like that's normal to call their kids names like stupid, retarded, slow, and F you, you're effing slow, or, I've witnessed it, and I'm wondering why people do that, because I was raised in a two-parent household, and my parents had six kids, but they've never ever called us those names. And I know some kids, schoolwork is challenging for them, or their behavior can be a challenge for some people. Not every kid is calm, cool, and collected. I remember I was a calm, cool, collected kid, but some of my siblings were not. They were not calm, cool, or collected. Thank you so much, Bendo. So, just because your child is not calm, cool, and collected, then you don't have to use those terms to your children. Calling your kids stupid, retarded, slow, it messes with your children's self esteem. I'm talking about parents who call their kids names like slow, retarded, those terms. Now, it messes with your children's self esteem, and it messes with their feeling of self worth. Some kids might think it's funny, and other kids, that will affect them. They'll actually think that those terms, those derogatory terms that you're calling them, because I think calling a child slow is very derogatory. Using the word retarded to a child who's not medically proven to be retarded is really, like, it's questionable to me. Why would you do that to your own flesh and blood? I feel a lot of people were verbally abused and they just didn't deal with they were verbally abused as a child and they probably thought it was normal. So they just carried that abuse to their children. If someone is witnessing verbal abuse, and you're saying, oh, that never happened in my house, so I never heard those terms in my household, then you must think something is up with you. You need to get help, because if you can call your own flesh and blood, your child, retarded, slow, and stupid, I don't think you love that child. How can you love your child if you use those terms? And I know kids are medically retardation is medically proven, but if your child is not medically that, why are you calling them that? And if somebody is retarded, I don't feel like people should make fun of them, because that's a sickness. That's an illness that they can't help. They didn't ask to be born that way. They were just born that way. And I'm sure their parents love them for who they are. But I just want to ask parents out there to please stop. Please stop doing it. I've seen it a lot where people curse the F word. Why do they curse the F word at their children? And then the children are just doing it at school because they think it's normal, you know? And it's not normal for a child to go to school and call another child that term. It's a very nasty term. So, like, my hope for this holiday is for parents to stop verbally abusing their children. It's not good, it messes with their self esteem, and you guys just need to get help. You need to get help. Like, go see a therapist or go see a doctor. Because if you're calling a 5-year-old stupid or retarded because you don't understand your temperament of your own child, then it's crazy. And I've seen people curse at their kids. They say the F word or they call them stupid. Like, why? To me, it's very baffling. I'm from a two parents household, and I've never heard it. I grew up with my uncles, my aunts, and a lot of adults, and I've just never heard that them say those terms to their kids. So I feel like if an adult feels self-satisfaction for calling their kids those names, then you definitely have a major issue. Like, something is really wrong with you mentally. You need to learn to control your emotions, because kids are kids. Kids must be handled with gentle and care. I understand not every child can be um soft parented, no, but it doesn't mean that you should call your kids those horrible terms. No, I get triggered because when I was in school, I had we had classes, but we had kids who were in our class that who were I wouldn't say they were special education kids that were in that program, and I had to deal with people making fun of those children, and I always stood up for them. I had friends who were in those programs because I'm just that type of person who talked to everyone. I had friends who were like, I had a friend on my neighborhood whose sister had Down syndrome, and she was our friend. And if people made fun of her, we defended her. So that is where I have a soft heart for children and a soft heart for people who are like, maybe they have Down syndrome, or they're not as fast, they're autistic. I will never call anyone those names because I've been around people being made fun of because of those impediments. And it's not fair. It's not fair as kids. And then you wonder why a lot of adults grow up and they do the things they do. A lot of them, they get their anger from their parents. They get their not feeling of self worth based on how their parents treat them. I just feel like certain people should not have kids. If you feel like you're the type of person to treat children that way, then you shouldn't have kids. If you feel like you cannot get the help you need to not verbally abuse your children, then you need to go get help, because you're messing up the future. You're the one who's causing that generational curse. You're causing the generational curse of children. And especially if it's minority children, it's making it like a double negative, you know? Thank you so much, Rose. So that's my hope for Christmas and for the new year, for parents to get help and to stop calling their children names. It's disturbing to me. And I would love to have a club where they teach children how to have self love, how to feel like they're worthy, even if they're verbally abused at home. There are parents who are so distraught, like they have no connection with their children, no connection. So the only time they deal with their children is when they're reprimanding them. But you have to get to know your kids, you have to talk to them, you have to get to know their personalities, their temperament. No child is easy. Well, some kids are easy, but not every child is easy. Some of them are very challenging, but you have to learn how to challenge your kids. You're a brunette. I love the burgundy for the holiday. It is so nice, guys. And everyone's been wearing brunette, like the hair, and it looks so pretty. But my hair is jet black. I just don't think I can ever go color because I don't know how it would look with a different color. So I just stick to jet black hair. Um, so, guys, yes, I am hoping that in 2026, like parents are more gentle with kids. You have to be stern with kids, but you have to be, be careful about the words that you feed into your children. Remember, your children are a product of you. They're you're a product of you, a reflection of you. So when your children grow up and doing things that you dislike, then look into yourself because you're teaching your kids that certain ways and habits are okay. You're teaching your children that it's okay to call um you're teaching the new queen of Canada. Canada, thank you. You're Canada. No, I wouldn't claim Canada. You're teaching your kids how to talk to themselves. So be careful about the words that you say to your children. Um, I'm just really, and I see it within like I just see it close to home and with people around me. Now, I don't curse. So when I have friends, of course, who curse and family members who curse at children or say the F word in front of their kids, but I don't do that. Now, I will only curse if I'm triggered. Like if someone keeps talking to me and saying the F word, F word, F word, or saying words in derogatory term, then I will get triggered and I will say it and I will I'm a Gemini, so we'll meet you all the way up there. I'll say calm. I'll stay calm. Then I'll definitely I'll give it to you. What did they say? I didn't send for you and you came for me. Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Don't forget to like my lives. But I would love for people to be more gentler with children because I've been watching the news and there's so many stories with children doing, unaliving their parents. And I say people are blaming the kids for mental health issues, but sometimes, and I'm not blaming a parent for what a child does, because the parent that's no longer here is definitely the victim. But sometimes people will have a horrible life or they'll have trauma from their household, how their parents treat them. If their parents treat them like they're not good enough, then that will affect them their entire life. I've seen it, like it affects a lot of people and it leads to other problems such as substance abuse. And then that substance abuse can turn into something else. So, be gentle with your children, guys. Be kind with your kids. Mind your words when you're talking to your kids. Mind your words when you're feeding, that you're preaching over your children. I try to talk to my kids as gentle as possible, but my I cannot soft parent my kids, but the words that come out of my mouth when it comes to talking to children is have to be positive, because these kids, it will kill their self-confidence. No matter how your kids act in school or their temperaments, you have to help them. Not every kid is going to know their ABCs right away, or know how to speak properly right away, or they'll know their one, two, three, whatever. They won't, and it's okay. You just have to have patience and help them. But if a kid is not retarded, please stop calling those kids retarded. If a kid is not slow, stop calling them slow. If a kid moves slower than a normal kid, like say a kid take a long time to get ready, don't call the child slow. That's probably just how they are. And I'm sure there are other children who have the same temperament. Like some people just move very slow when it comes to getting ready. Some people move slow. I have two children. One take very long to get ready. Facelift, really? Some people take very long to get ready, and other people take fast. I have a kid he takes 1 hour to get ready, and then a next one who take about 15 minutes to get ready. So will I call the one that take an hour to get ready a slow child? I wouldn't do that. I would just say, uh, I'll say, ask him why does he move so slow, but I wouldn't call him slow, you know? Yes, I do. Would I call him slow? No, I wouldn't. So it just hurts my heart, when I witness people calling kids that, and then they call their boys the SISSY words. If a kid is not that, stop calling him that. Like people just use so much derogatory terms on their children, and when your child come out that way, the joke will be on you, because you've been saying it your whole life. You've been calling your kids these names their whole life. So you won't be surprised when your kid turn out to be something that you're not happy about, or your kid become the person that you never were. But a lot of people are abused and they think it's normal. Like if you come from a abusive home where your parents yelled at you, called you slow, called you retarded, or didn't treat you kind, then of course, yes, some people will change. They'll say, oh no, I will never treat my children that way. And some people, they'll just carry on that legacy of being an asshole. Can I curse on here? I'm sorry. I'll say that curse word, but not the F word. They'll be an a-hole to their children. So it just breaks my heart. And don't ever tell your child that you don't love them. To me, that's ridiculous. You have your kid did something that you weren't proud of, and you tell your child you don't love them. It's like, it's baffling to me, guys. I just feel like some people shouldn't have any children. Like, just don't have them. And if you do have a kid, just if you're that type of parent, stay out of their life. Is that bad to say, guys? Is it bad to say? Because the children are definitely our future, and a parent could definitely damage their kid. A lot of people are not like adults, are not proud of who they are, or they're just not proud of themselves, so they take that out on their child. And it's not fair, because just because you didn't get where you are in life, it doesn't mean your child will not get there. Or a lot of people have a lot of trauma that they need to heal. Like, heal your trauma, guys. Heal your trauma. You don't want your kids to be like a generational curse or a statistic or a stigma, You don't want your child to be that way. Anyhow, guys, you can text a topic that you want me to talk about, because I'm just babbling about that. It just came in my spirit to talk about that. Do you guys have children? Were your parents kind to you, or do you guys do like soft parenting? If you do, just type it in the chat. I definitely cannot do soft parenting because I have boys, but I definitely don't call them names. I'm definitely, they could get you uh your internet. What do you mean? your what's happening with your internet, Rose? Is it Rose? That's a nice name. What's happening with your internet? Toto boy arrested. What do you mean? You know, I'm just wondering, like if you have something traumatic happen to you, how do you deal with it? Like, do you take, my internet is slow. Is it? I don't know why it's slow. It's not supposed to be slow, guys. I have really good service here, so I don't know what's happening. So you're saying your internet is useless. I don't know. It probably depends on your internet because I'm fine with my internet, guys. I had to get I forgot the name. I don't care if my internet is slow. I was just saying that kids should not, you as parents, you shouldn't call your kids slow. And but you guys are talking about the internet. You completely changed my topic. I don't know if you guys are being serious or funny, so it's really crazy. It's like we can't have an adult conversation here. But that is was my topic of the day. Um, People having emotional intelligence. Like, walk away if you feel upset at your children. Walk away if they have clowns in the chat. For sure, you guys are being clown. I'm trying to have a serious, serious conversation, and you guys are so funny. Um, but if you want like those type of chat where it's hilarious, it's not me. I'm not a comedian. I like to have serious topics to help the future and the generation. Excuse me. I like to laugh, but um, you can like my chat, Auto Boy, Toto Boy, before you leave. Like my chat. Yeah, help me out. Now, yeah, what was I saying? See, I lost my train of thought because I don't, you just, whatever I was trying to say, I can't even, it's not even in my mind anymore. So, yeah, emotional intelligence. I feel like a lot of parents don't have emotional intelligence. You know, I get emotional sometimes, I get moody. I'm a female, we have that time of the month where it's crazy. So, um, I definitely know that I can be moody and my emotional intelligence sometimes is out the window at that point. But we have to learn how to, you know, take a step back and just count to 10. Stop calling our kids names and do the right thing. You know? Stop calling our children names. It's in 2026 is like we're supposed to evolve. Humans are supposed to evolve. We're not supposed to stay the same our whole life. And if you're not evolving, why are you on earth? What are you doing if you're not on earth evolving? Like, so you just want to stay the same every year? You just want to stay the same revolving cycle? And then you'll wonder why your life is not progressing, why, like, you're always in misery because you have no emotional intelligence, you're not trying to evolve, and you're not trying to make yourself better. So in life, we are supposed to make ourselves better. You have to try to do mindful habits. It's all mindful thinking, mindful meditation about making yourself better. They have so many courses on YouTube, so many classes. They have therapy right now to make yourself better. You know, I just like to grow. I like to become a better person. And I like to be in situations where it will bring me peace. Like my life is peaceful. They say the soft life. How do you work to to get a soft life? You work to get a soft life by how you speak to people, how you deal with people, and how you operate in life. we're supposed to evolve. If you're the same way from in 2014 than you are in 2026, something is there's a problem. And you're an older person. You're not like 20 going to 30. You're like 40s going to your 50s. And they do say older people, it takes them a while to change, but it's like if people are telling you you need to change, you need to change. It's easy to change your bad habits, guys. It's called mindful thinking. Think to yourself, write in a notebook what habits about yourself that you wish could be better, and every year work on it. If you know you have a mouth that could cut throat, then change your mouth. Change the way you talk to people. If you know you have a mouth that could make you lose a lot of friends, then change the way you speak. Like it's okay to change your personality to curb your behavior if it's for the best. If it's going to be for the betterment of yourself and the betterment of your family, you know? Like, if we're just cursing and talking down to our family members, then that's not a good thing because your family is a part of you. They're an intricate part of you. They're a part of your life. Your kids are a part of of your life, you know? So, guys, work on yourself. I take a wellness class, I take wellness things, and I just try to become a better person. I try to be more observant to how I treat others because your words can definitely affect people. Some people might be quiet about certain words. Now, I know sometimes I have a problem with sometimes I talk before I think. Like it may come out really wrong when I might mean a different way. And I will talk to people if I ever offend them and then have a conversation to say, I don't, let them know that I didn't mean things the way I said it. And as adults, we're supposed to be able to do that. We're supposed to be able to talk if something is bothering us or someone offends you. You're supposed to be able to vocalize what happened. And I feel like more adults don't have emotional intelligence, and that's why a lot of people, they hold grudges, or they suddenly stop talking to others. People will say, like, what's that term? I can't remember. Like they'll ghost people or cut people off quickly. But if you have like a great friend or you get along well with a family member, do you think ghosting is the right way? No. Like if you guys said something to each other and it wasn't nice, you can talk about it, apologize, and sit, have tea, have a conversation. That's what adults did. I have friendships, guys, for like 20 plus years. And you know why I have those friendships? Because we can communicate, we can talk. If we bother each other, we talk. Of course, I've had arguments with friends just like they're my siblings, but then we sit and talk and we can laugh at those arguments. So, emotional intelligence is very important in adults. It's very important. There's a lot of people who have hurt people because their emotions are high, and it's not good. I feel like a lot of children, especially, I'm sorry, I don't know if everyone is black, like black people have had a lot of trauma based on how they were treated. Like we get yelled at or cursed at. I don't think it happens only in the black family, but some black people, or based on the way some parents discipline, they'll say, oh, that's the Jamaican, because I'm Jamaican, and Jamaicans have like a strict way of disciplining their child, or a strict way of raising their child. But being Jamaican doesn't mean that you have to talk down to your child. Yes, Jamaican parents are very strict, but being strict and being a verbal abuser to your own children is different. Like, you can be strict in not allowing your child to do certain things, like strict in that they have to do their schoolwork, they have to get A's, they have to do well in school, or if they're in a sport, they have to give all their effort, their best efforts. But if you're talking down to your kid, calling them slow, retarded, dumb, those terms you don't use. I don't care. No one should use that to their children. You shouldn't use it to your friend or your spouse or no one. and people just, that's why I said I would live in a corner by myself because I cannot be around that. I cannot be around people who have those personality traits. And to me, they get satisfaction. How can someone like in their 40s get satisfaction from calling a kid that's 8 or 9 names? So I'm a 40-year-old person and I'm calling an 11-year-old dumb, stupid, retarded. What satisfaction does that get? Does that make you feel good? That must make you feel terrible after, because how does that make you feel good? I feel like the parent themselves probably think they are like not, they don't think highly of themselves. And so calling their children names make them feel better. Me personally, I think people who call people names are definitely have some type of insecurity. They definitely had some trauma, like their parent or whoever raised them call them those terrible names, and that's why when I observe other people, and I'm Jamaican, I'm from a Jamaican household. I was raised with my mom, my dad, and then we also lived in a multifamily where my uncle and his wife and his kids were there. And I've never heard my uncle ever say those words in front of his wife or in front of his children. My father have never called any of his kids that. My father didn't even discipline his kids. Like, he will tell us right from wrong, but he didn't even put his hands on us. My mom, she was very strict. However, she never used those terms. They just instilled that they wanted us to do well in school and they wanted us to do well on the planet Earth and not do bad. But those very nasty terms they never used. And I think I've learned that from childhood not to make fun of people. Like I said, guys, I'm not trying to make it an excuse, but I grew up with a neighborhood friend who were, well, grew up on a neighborhood where there were a lot of children on the neighborhood. So one of the boys on the neighborhood, his sister had Down syndrome. So of course, we were friends with her. So if people tried to make fun of her or anything, of course we would defend her verbally, not fight. But sometimes people who call people names, they don't understand or they don't have it close to home. So they will call people names and feel good about themselves, you know? Okay, how do you make yourself feel better about, so you have a goal and then once you reach the goal then you're not happy? Well, you're setting your goals too high because you have to take time. Um, you have to have mindfulness. That's what it's called, mindfulness. Enjoy every moment of everything that you're doing. And if you try to enjoy every moment of every what you're doing, even if you like you have a goal but it's not up to par to like your monetary goal, or your if you work out and you don't get to where you want your body to be at the time frame you want your body to be, you have to take time and you have to give yourself grace for the little wins, also the big wins. You have to try to enjoy the moment. Try to be an optimistic person, because if you're reaching your goals, you should be happy. Why aren't you happy with reaching your goals? Did someone or something stand in your way or make your goal a not a bad memory? Because if I'm reaching my goals, I would be happy, you know? And I've heard someone say that before, that they wanted to become like a certain profession and they worked so hard to become that and they weren't happy, because probably the goal that you're setting yourself is not your real goal. Like there's something else that you need to do, that you really need to do to get to your goal. So maybe that goal that you're setting for yourself is not your true calling, or it's not the thing that you want the most. So the goals that you set or the things that you're doing, try to make it be something that you're really into that will really fulfill you, you know? One thing that I do love that I don't get to do, I like to volunteer a lot. And whenever I do it, it makes me very fulfilled. And so in 2026, I would love to do more volunteering. I know life is busy. At one time, I went to like a food bank and I volunteered. And with my job allows us to volunteer. So I try to pick up volunteering as much as possible. And I went to the food bank and there was a lot of, I was volunteering like the frozen goods, and I went to the food bank and there was a lot of older people that were retired, and all they did, she said, every Tuesday, because whenever I go places, I always meet the most interesting people and I like to have conversations with them. So she was telling me how they volunteer every Tuesday, and I thought that was good. So I think when you're setting a goal, try to find a goal that will really fulfill your life. um, and that's probably the problem. The goal, excuse me, is not fulfilling your life, you know? It's not a goal that you really want, you know? So try to do a goal that you really, really want. And, that is a very good question, you know? I think it's within you, like it's how you feel within yourself. Mindfulness, when you're working on your goals, try to enjoy the moment that you're in it. And that's probably why you're not having good memories, because while you're working towards your goal, you're not enjoying every minute. So in life, sometimes, especially, I don't know if you live in America. In America, we tend to move very fast, where everything is fast paced. And sometimes you have to slow down. You have to, you know, move a little slower to try to enjoy the moment. Sometimes even when we're eating, like we tend to eat, some people eat very fast, but they said you have to chew slowly just to savor the food and savor the taste of the food. So that's probably the problem with you not enjoying your goal. And you're welcome. Just try to really think about what your true goals are, or what will fulfill you. Because sometimes people will set monetary, like we'll say, oh, I wish I had certain amount in our bank account, and we get to that point and then you're still not happy with that amount that you have in your bank account, because America has taught us to always want more, everything bigger, everything greater. Sometimes we have to just enjoy the moment, enjoy this today. Like I'm enjoying right now, I'm talking to you guys, I'm enjoying this moment, because we don't know what's going to happen in a second or the next moment. We just wonder and we think, but we don't know. Like we can plan a trip. Well, I shouldn't talk that way. We can plan something next year and our plans can change, but try to enjoy your moments. you know Try to they have, or the phones, we have cellular phone, try to record your moment. you know, Write down. Mindfulness is really a thing where you have to, a lot of us are doing things, but we're not mindful. Like, get into your mind when you're doing stuff and think about why you're doing it. How does it fulfill you? And, what impact will it have on your life? And how are you helping other people's lives? Because I think that's why we're on earth, to help others. We're not here for ourselves, we're here to help others. So whatever you're good at, your skill are you should help others. A lot of people are very selfish and think we're here for ourselves. No, we're not. Even as a parent, I have kids. I have to raise my kids, help them to be great humans on earth. I'm a daughter, sometimes I just sit there and I call my parents. I'll talk to them for hours, because I will not have my parents forever. Or they might not have me forever. So I try to enjoy every moment with them and try to talk with them. My friends, I try to be very close to my friends, not argue, you know. I try to give people their space too. Oh, you're a medical student. Okay. You're a medical student, so I do understand the stress that you're under, the goals. Yeah. Um, Being a medical student is wonderful because when whatever doctor you become, you'll be, excuse me, whatever doctor you become, you'll be helping society. You'll be helping, you know, your community. You'll be like a blessing to society. So I wish you all the best on becoming a med student. If you're in school now, so you need to take it one day at a time. Don't rush it. I know you want to be a doctor. I know you see it, you're tasting it, but it will come. It will come when the time is right. And when you look back at all your hard work, that's when you'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate the hard work. And for you to want to be a doctor, it shows that you're someone who is a servicer. You like to service people and help people. You know, I commend you and I wish you all the best. I hope you really follow through and become a doctor because that's a very good career and it will definitely help others. It will definitely help others. I really commend you for that. I love when the young people are really, doing things like going to school. There's a lot of things happening with social media where a lot of people are dropping out of school and they're trying to do all these social media jobs. Yes, if you're an entrepreneur, you can become an entrepreneur on social media, but I still like the careers like doctors, lawyers, teachers, you know, finance people. There's people who still have to do those jobs because we need doctors. Everyone gets sick, and so that is a wonderful career. And like I said, don't give up. Your goals may be like with school is challenging. I have a friend, he's from Albania, and we're speaking of doctor. He did construction and he paid for his wife to go to become a doctor, and his wife ended up in school. Like, she became a doctor, and when she completed school, she had no college loans because he worked and he paid for her to become a doctor. And she became a doctor with them having two kids. So guys, don't let kids or anything deter you from becoming whatever career you want to become. Like, there's a stigma on having kids that they'll say, "Oh, you can't do that because you have kids. You can't do this because you have kids." Don't do it. Yeah, his wife became a doctor. He helped her become a doctor, and now they have kids, and his child is going to school to become a doctor. At first, he didn't want to become a doctor, but he didn't force him. He didn't force his child. Sometimes what you are will encourage your kids to become that way too. Let me read your comment. Let's see. Okay. What country are you in, may I ask? So the hospitals in your country are free. So does doctors get paid a lot in your country? I don't know what country you're in. But that's wonderful if the hospitals are free. In the US, no, the hospitals here are not free. If we go to the hospital, we come out with a hefty bill, hefty, especially if we decide to go to the emergency room. Don't bother calling an ambulance. We have to call an ambulance if we're sick, but if you call, and I consider my health insurance very good, guys. I work for a company with great health insurance, but they still, if you call the doctor or you're sick and call the ambulance, you're ending up with a bill so great, and then on top of the ambulance bill, you also have to pay the emergency room bill. So to have hospitals that are free is very, very, very good. It will help a lot of people. we have clinics here, I think, but I don't think we have any free because they have to, I guess if they have Medicaid or Medicare, then they get free health insurance. But it's not, I don't think it's truly free. Like, I don't feel like we have any free healthcare here. Okay, so apparently we do have free clinics here. I had to research. So apparently we do have free clinics here. It's like non-profit and it's run by charities. I've never been to a free clinic here, but that is interested to know. But I don't think we have a lot of them. But I will research. But that's good to know that we have free clinics here. Oh, you're from Algeria. Oh, wow. So what type of doctor are you planning to become? Is Algeria close to Albania? I know that my friend is from Albania and his wife became a doctor. So if you're university, okay, so if you become a doctor in Algeria, can you work as a doctor, like say in the US, or you would have to go back to school in the US? I don't know that. I would have to research, but I don't know because I know some certifications you do have to get in the US. But okay. I knew Algeria was Africa, but I didn't want to misspeak. So, okay. I heard about Algeria, I think one time. So, I have to research. So, if you become a doctor in Algeria, can you transfer that to the US, or would you need to come back to the US for school? Because when I went to university, a lot of people in my college, they received a scholarship. Well, I know a friend, he's from what's the country? Nigeria. He's from Nigeria and he received a scholarship, and then the company kept him because he was so good. So that's how he got his visa, through the company. So he came as a student because he was so great. And I know a lot of kids in my college, they were from Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. I forgot the other country because they were in my friend group because of my major. My major was MIS, and my friend who's from Africa was like he was the school, what's that? When you're like the student. I went to college a very long time ago, but he was like a teacher, like for the labs. He used to teach the labs. And that's how I met him. And then that's how I met like a little African group. They're all on my Facebook. I don't stay in touch. But there were two guys from the group who became doctors. Oh, wow. That's a big, big, big doctor, heart surgeon. They make money. Doctors make a lot of money. So if you become a heart surgeon, that will be a good career. How old are you, might I ask? That would be a very good career. I would say don't, if that's your passion, don't give it up. Continue to work. It will get there. Take it one step at a time, and always say one class at a time. School is very hard. I went to school, it was very difficult, but it wasn't difficult for me actually, but school was not difficult for me because I'm very student, so most of the time school is not difficult for me. I went younger, right now I'm older, but when I did go to school, it was not difficult, but it was challenging because when I went to university, it was on campus and we had people, party and stuff. So you had to stay uber focused and put your eyes on the goal. So I think that's a very good profession, and I feel like, yeah, you should definitely stick with it. I know that I don't know what year are you in right now? How many years do you have left? Don't give up. Don't give up, you know. Oh wow, you're a very intelligent child. Very intelligent. You're young. You know, you could be my I don't know, are you a girl or female? You could be my child, I would say, because I have a 21-year-old. So you could definitely be my child. Um but I wish you all the best. Like you're learning, so you speak German as well. And what language do they speak in Algeria? Because I don't know much. I know Algeria is not like a big country in Africa because I have not heard much about Algeria. Let's see. Algeria have the Saharan desert. I did not know that. I've heard of the Saharan desert, but I did not know that it's where Algeria is. It's the biggest country. Oh my goodness. See? Why haven't I heard of it? You know, I heard of it because I know the Sahara Desert. I've heard of it. But that's crazy. But when I think of Africa, the countries that are like pushed in our faces are like Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, uh, what's the other place? South Africa, Egypt, Morocco. And I watch someone on YouTube, like I follow Wadamaya. I don't know if you know of him, but he goes over all the different countries in Africa. And I know of Egypt. Kenya, how can I forget Kenya? I know of he goes to all the different African countries and he talks to like business people, students, people who own like Airbnbs, like very educated people who are doing well in Africa. He'll go there and he interviews them. I don't know if you know what Amaya, but he's like a big African YouTuber. Oh, so Algeria is close to Morocco. See, that's where I would love to go, Morocco, but um I haven't been to Africa as yet because we have to take a yellow fever shot and I'm afraid of that shot. So when I decide to take that shot, then I'll make it to Africa. I don't know. Why do I then I'll make it when I just say, "Oh, I'll do the shot and then I'll make it." And I'm very spontaneous, so I will just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to Africa." And then I look, and then I'll book my trip to Africa. So that's how I am. My mind will tell me when it's time, and then I'll just go. So that's how I am. But I am I get really fearful of flying too far away from home, even though I do travel, but I get a lot of fear of being so far away. So I always say if I travel to Africa, I need everyone to come with me, all my family members. Like we need to do a group trip and everyone should come to Africa. So I definitely have Africa in my horizon to go to, but I just have to pick the country in Africa, you know? Oh, but Algeria, I might visit Algeria, you know? I might because it has the Sahara Desert. So, oh, it's if it's next to Morocco, it's not very far. A flight from New York to Morocco is not that bad. So, that's interesting. So I would say keep up the good work, and I think that you'll be a great doctor, you know, and be a great heart doctor. I follow this lady on Instagram, and she just had a heart transplant, you know, and her story is so inspiring because she it's like she before her heart was bad, she couldn't even, you know how I'm talking to you guys for a long period of time. She couldn't do that. She said she couldn't even walk from here to there because of her heart, and she got her transplant, and then, you know, now she can walk miles and miles. So it's so it's so like interesting what medicine can do. I know a lot of people don't believe in medicine, but when you can save a life like that, when you can just, people can donate to another person's body and help them to live a little bit longer, I think it's pretty amazing. It's pretty wonderful, you know? So, honey, then I will subscribe to my channel because then you can invite me to Algeria. Are you kidding me? We can't just come to Algeria? Yeah, I have to do more research. That is so crazy. If it's such a big African country, why can't we just come there? So, okay, so your visa is very difficult to get for anyone to come into the country. That's probably why I haven't heard much about people visiting Algeria because people can't be bothered with the visa process. Uh, oh, that's pretty good to know. It's pretty good to know, but hey, I it's okay. They can protect their country because there's a lot of why are they protecting their country? What countries are they protecting who are they protecting their country from? I can't talk bad about immigrants or migration because I'm an immigrant. I was migrated to the US by my parents from Jamaica when I was young. So I can't say anything bad about migration or immigration. I just feel like people need to go into the country legally, like don't go illegal. But I do also understand where some people have to run away from their countries, like say they're in danger, not because they did something bad but because of war or things that are happening in their country. So, but that's how I feel on immigration. I feel like you should go legally to a country. And I understand why a lot of people they're strict with letting any and anyone into their country because some immigrants, I would say illegal or legal, they can cause harm to the country, but I do understand that they don't want us in the country, but I'll go where I'm welcomed. But I've never heard that before where you cannot enter a country unless someone invites you there. I've never heard that before. That's why I go to the islands because it's so easy to go there. And I'm an island girl. And different countries have strict rules, so you definitely have to be careful when you travel. I would say travel with a group. But I wish you all the best, being a doctor, you know. It's great being a doctor. It takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of studying, a lot of time away from fun, but in the end, it will be all worth it. It will be all worth it. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. You don't need tourism. Mm. That's good when a country don't need tourism though to make their country thrive. It's good, but I feel like people should be able to visit all different countries, you know? We should be able to come if we like your country to come visit it. I just don't like the separation and the segregation of, okay, we own this country, we own that country. I do understand why people do it, but I feel like because other countries will try to steal their country and also steal their resources. So I understand that aspect of it, but I do think that we should be able to travel and see every country if we choose to. But I do understand governments have their rules and law, and we have to abide by that. Okay, the government is probably being more open now because you guys probably do need tourism. Like, probably now they need the money from tourism, so they're probably being more open to it now, possibly. But very interesting. I'll research more about Algeria because it sounds. I also have to go to Wadamaya's page to see if he ever visited Algeria, because when he goes to each African country, he's trying to link them together and show like the riches of Africa, because Africa is was portrayed as being like a very poor country. Well, to us in the US, in what do they call in the European countries, but I know it's not, and most of us know it's not. But what Amaya tried to, or he does a good job with displaying the riches of Africa and the powerful, the people doing really great things. That's African. He interviews people from the diaspora as well, you know. So it's very interesting. I'm really addicted to his channel, and I always watch him interviewing people from Africa and visiting like the nice Airbnbs, and the infrastructure of things that we don't normally see. Like, they teach us and show us like a different world, you know. What's that guy's name that's trying to have one Africa? I forgot his name. Type it in the chat. Oh, I always forget his name, but he's such a great leader. I do love his concept of trying to put real trying to bring all the African countries together. And I feel like that's a cool idea, because I don't feel like Africa should be segregated, but I know it's based on like government and money and all that resources. But I feel like if you live in Africa, you should be able to travel throughout, the different countries in Africa. And I think that's what Amaya is saying, that if you're an African, it shouldn't be so difficult to go from like Nigeria to South Africa to Algeria, things like that. Okay. So does the French own Algeria? So what is the first language of Algeria? French or Arabic? Is there a lot of Arabs in Algeria? Because if it's close to Morocco, Morocco doesn't have a lot of, black. They probably do, but they look most Arabs to me. Like when I see it on YouTube. So, what's the majority of people in Algeria? Like, how do they look? Do they look Arab, or do they look mostly okay? So you guys been independence. That's good. So it's cool. So you're an African country that speaks French and Arabic. That's crazy. So if I come to Algeria, I would not understand anything because I can't speak neither of those languages. Oh my lord. You're really schooling me today. See? You're a student and you know a lot. So that's really good. You know a lot about your country. You retain all that information about your country. So that's really interesting. I would love to visit like Africa one day. I have a friend from Kenya and she said she'll take me there, but we'll see. We'll see when, hopefully soon, but I would love to go. Normally, whenever I visit somewhere new, I like to go with someone who's already from the country, or, you know, someone that would take me around so I would feel safer there. I don't really go places if I don't know anyone there. Certain places I do, like the islands, but to go all the way, certain places I do. I shouldn't say that. I do to certain places, you know? But Algeria sounds like a very interesting country, and I will definitely visit because I have Ghana and Nigeria on my mind because to me, Ghana and Nigeria reminds me so much of Jamaican. Their way of life, I mean, their culture with the party and the food. They like to be flashy. It reminds me so much of the Jamaican culture. But I know there's other cultures that are in Africa who is they don't act like Ghanaians or Nigerians, you know? But the Nigerians are the powerhouse of Africa, aren't they? They just rule Africa based on what I see online. Now, what Okay, this may be a 1 second. This may be a silly question. 1 second. So Africa have 54 countries. Okay. So you guys look mainly Arabs. I'm sorry. Oh wow. You're schooling me. I had no clue. Okay. So you would not look like the typical black African. So what's the percentage of black African in like the black Africans that look like me that's in Algeria? So Algeria is pretty much an Arabic country in Africa. It's ruled. So do you guys speak any English or taught any English? Because I know you said you're taught mainly Arab, Arabic. Arabic, I'm sorry. Arabic. That's how you pronounce it. So you speak French and Arabic. Oh, interesting. You are really schooling me today. You know, you're really schooling me today, you know? And I love when I'm on this live and then people teach me things because I love to learn. I'm definitely someone who, I'm curious about different countries and okay. So I will, oh wow. So you don't have my people in Algeria? My goodness. That is so funny. So we black people like me was never the original people of Algeria. So what percentage of English? Now, what percentage of English is taught in Algeria? Because you said just French and Arabic. And you also know German? Whew, no English. I will not be, I won't come to your country. Guys, I went to a country. I know you're not white, but you guys look like, you look Arab. You don't look, I would mean, so what do you consider yourself? Arabic or black? I'm sorry. I need to look it up. Give me one moment. I googled how you guys look. Oh, so you guys look like you look more Ethiopian to me. Like what's his name? Selassie. Haile Selassie, that's Jamaicans but you're like lighter skin. Haile Selassie. But Ethiopians are darker, but you look like him to me based on the photos that Google have, but you're still considered black. But okay, that's interesting. You're schooling me for sure. I am really, yeah. And you know, when I'm done with you, my dad will be so interested in this topic. So I'll tell him everything that I learned today. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Now I know because sometimes when we think of Africa, we think that everyone looks the same, and Africa is so like it's a melting pot as well. Everyone looks so different in different parts of Africa. Whereas if you go to the US, we all look the same in different states. Probably not, but in Africa, everyone is different. Like people look different. I can spot someone who looks Ethiopian right away. You know? You guys look okay. Yes, I did. You look mostly Arabs to me, like pretty much based on the photo. Must be a very religious country, right? So what is Algeria known for besides the Sahara Desert? Like what do you guys do for fun in Algeria? You're a student, so you're studying for a doctor. And what time is it in Algeria? Is it morning time at this time? Is it morning in Algeria? Wow, 2 a.m. You're up very early. Now, wow, it's very early. Now, you're a med student, so are you staying on campus or do you travel to school? You schooled me today. I learned a lot about a different country in Africa. That's so interesting. So you guys really look like the Moroccans. You very much look like the Moroccans. So to me, you guys look more like you're from like Asia, like Palestine or what's that other country? Afghanistan. Or to me, or from oh, I don't like couscous. Mm-mm. I tried it before and I do not like that. I'm sorry. I tried cooking it. I didn't like it, but maybe I was trying to be healthier, but maybe I need to go to an actual African place and eat the food. Eat couscous. It was okay, but not my favorite. I just rather stick with rice because I like rice. Yeah, I'll try. I tried to cook it. I don't know, but it was okay. I would have to try it from an authentic place that does it. I just will stick with rice because I heard it's a more healthier alternative than rice, but I tried it. So that's what you guys are known for. Wow, I did not know. So you guys have football as in soccer football. Yeah. My kids love soccer. Jamaicans love it too. They love soccer. So football as in the soccer football where you kick the ball. Not American football, of course not. You know? So is that your only food? Like do you guys eat like okay, it's the most popular one. Interesting. It's nice to know different things about different countries. I know we're all connected, but it's just so different where you're from or where you live. Like everyone live a different lifestyle. It's just very interesting to me. But it's good that you can, connect via YouTube and TikTok, Instagram. But there's a lot of countries who are becoming like more European, more Americanized. Do you think that's happened in Algeria? Well, probably not because you're saying there's no English in your country. So you guys are not taught English at all in school, which is quite interesting because I think most places teach English, you know? So it's interesting that they don't teach English at all. And I think it's good when you're able to speak more than one language. You know, I wish I could, learn another language besides English. I did try Spanish. The reason why I said I wouldn't come to your country because there's no English, because I went to a country before and they barely spoke English, and it was very hard for me to like the barrier, but I can't blame them because it's my fault for not learning their language, you know? But it was very difficult for me because I had to translate everything. And if I tried to do I would talk to them like this, it was kind of hard. So the next time I'll bring my Google Translator. It was so hard. So, and I'm not being biased. It's just hard when you're in a country and you don't speak their language, but you cannot blame them because I'm going into the country. You know, I should learn their language. They shouldn't be forced to learn English when English is not what they speak in their country. So I understand, you know, I understand. But I definitely wish I could learn another language. Maybe I'll try, you know? Who knows? They have courses online, but they said it's hard. Oh, okay. Oh, so you guys know English. All right. That's what I was talking about, speaking English, not the people, the English people. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, because most countries, they're required to learn English, which is, but that's interesting. Yeah, it's good that when you go to a country. Now, if they don't do tourism and don't allow a lot of people in their country, why are they teaching the children English? I get it, but we're not allowed to it's hard to come to the country. So the kids that know English, how are they using it if you barely have any English tourists? You know, are they doing it because they want their kids to leave the country to go to a English speaking? Because you said the major languages, the two main languages in your country is Arabic and French. So you guys learn French, Arabic, and English. That's pretty dope. That's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And you're right. You have to teach the kids from very young, because it's good to have different languages. You never know when you'll need it. You never know. You know, I learned Spanish in school, so I know little bit, like poquito Spanish, but I went to a Spanish country and I was so lost. They speak differently than what they teach us in the books, you know. They teach us the proper Spanish, but when you go to the Spanish countries, they don't speak that way. And in order to retain the languages that you learn, you have to continue to speak it like on a daily basis in order to retain the knowledge. Oh, interesting. I wonder why. Are they doing more trading with the US now, or it's just interesting? That's good. I think you know how well in the USA they teach us different languages too. So French and Spanish is the major language that we choose, but now they're incorporating other countries like Chinese, Japanese, other countries. I'm sure there'll be other but you have the option, or we have the option, to take courses on our own at universities of any language that we want to speak. So I think it's good for kids to know more than one language, because it's helpful, because I feel like in most places it's a melting pot. you meet people from all over, and sometimes it's good to, like, say you meet someone and they don't speak good English, and like say you meet a French person and you learn French, then you can speak to that person in French. So I think it's very good as a student to know more than one language. Don't limit yourself to just speak one language, your home country's language, or English. It's best to learn like French, another language. But I think that's my goal for next year. Like, you gave me a good idea. So my goal for next year will be to take a language course and try to learn that language. I think I'll do French. Um, I learned Spanish in high school and college, but I have not. So I'll think I try to do French. Right. English is very universal. So yeah, that's why every country learns English. So I think that's good. Yeah. Once you know English, then everyone could talk to each other in the English language. But I mean, some people, they are not taught English. If, if you're in a country like a poor country, and you're not taught English, you won't really know English. You'll know like bits and pieces of it. So I feel like it's good that they're teaching it in schools. Um, but I feel like a child or an individual, it's better if they know more than one languages. I mean, it benefits you greater, than just knowing English, because I learned the hard way. I went somewhere where I needed Spanish and I didn't know. I knew poquito, like little bit, but to have a full on conversation with them, it was very hard. And then when I tried to talk to them in English, they didn't understand a thing I was saying. It was so weird. Like, me and my friend, we went on a, like, like a boat ride to an island, and this guy was he we just met a stranger, and he clinged to me and my friend, and he probably liked my friend because I definitely told him I was married, but he was friends with, and he spoke nothing of English, nothing of English. And we were the only black girls on the trip, so maybe that on the boat, so maybe he was just attracted to the black color. But he spoke nothing of English, not a lick of English. So it was very much an English barrier because we were asking, where are you from? Why are you here? What are you doing? And we had to take out our phones and then to translate. It was a mess. So it's good to know other languages, because you'll have experiences like that where you're trying to communicate with someone, and so it's kind of hard. Really? You know nothing about Jamaica? But I feel like it's the place of Africa where you're located, because you said you're mostly Arabic and French country. And I feel like the Nigerians and the Ghanaians, they know a lot about Jamaica, because if you go there, you can go and order Jamaican food. Because I've watched people from Jamaica who have migrated to Africa, like to Nigeria, Ghana, and they say they're kind of similar to Jamaicans. So I feel like you're in school. Yes, you know a lot about the Western country, and I think that's our problem too, as like black. Well, I'm black, black. We learn more about, when we're in school, we learn more about the West, like Europe and, Paris and all those countries, Germany, but they don't teach us much about Africa. So I took a course about Africa in college. So I'm learning more now because there's YouTube, and I said I have a lot of YouTube. Um, I watch What Amaya. He's not the say all be all, but I do watch him, and I watch a lot of people that travels, and those people as well, they love Jamaica as well. So they've been to Jamaica and talk so well about Jamaica and love the food. And he was talking about the similarities between Ghana and Jamaica, how some of the foods are the same. So yes, I think if you live in Algeria, you definitely need to know about your other countries in Africa, you know, especially if you're in school and you sound well educated. So it's like you can still learn. You're 20, you have years to go. That's why it's good to travel. That's why I loved going to university, because I met so many people. I've met so many people from different countries, from Asian countries, African countries. You know, I was sheltered in my US small town. So when I went to college, it was so great to meet other people from different countries, you know? Oh, the Jamaica. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I mean, you have YouTube now that will teach you a lot about different cultures and different people. You know, Jamaicans are kind of like, we are people who like to party. We like, oh, our food. Our food is like really good. We like the beach. We're mostly like, most Jamaicans are chilled, laid back. They are Jamaicans who are hyped up, hype. We love dancing, so our culture is in our dancing, our foods, and Jamaicans are also very educated people. Like, you know how Africans are very strict with telling their children they have to go to school, they have to be a professional. The Jamaican culture is kind of like that with parents. They're very strict and they expect their kids to become well educated. But it doesn't happen in all Jamaican families, but I'm just saying that it's what's taught. They're strict on us. But I love being a Jamaican, guys. I'm sorry. I love being a Jamaican. I love that God made me a Jamaican because, you know, I love the food. And when I go to Jamaica, it's just a different type of vibe. It's warm there. The culture is nice. I know they hear a lot, you guys hear a lot of bad rep about Jamaicans on the internet, but not every Jamaican is bad. Not every country is bad. They have good and bad in every culture, good and bad in every um, continent. So Jamaica to me is a very good island. You know, there's a lot of islands, but Jamaica is the most popular island to me. I love the food there. The food is just, I would rate it up there, you know, but I have not tried. I tried Ethiopian food and it was good, but Jamaican is, you know, the food is really good. They can really cook in Jamaica. Oh, wow. Well, I feel like because you're in university, you definitely should learn more about your the different African culture. Do they? They don't have any Jamaicans in your country, do they? No. So if you're Jamaican, I don't know, what do you eat? Do you eat meat? Definitely. Do you eat meat or are you a vegetarian? So Jamaican food, I would say, I don't know if you eat meat because you're Arabic. Um, are you Arabic? Or are you just, so oxtail is very good. I would suggest oxtail. Oxtail. If you're saying we can't come into your country, like we need a visitor, I don't know. But you can research on YouTube or Google, will let you know if there's any Jamaican. So oxtail is very good from Jamaica. Oxtail and rice and peas with some veggies. So, so good. Jerk chicken is good. What else? Curry goat. I don't know if you eat goat. Curry goat with like white rice, and you can even eat it with couscous. Like add your curry goat to your couscous and some vegetables. Yes. And for our main dish, ackee and saltfish and dumplings. Google it. You'll love Jamaican food. I don't know you will love it. You'll love it. Most people love Jamaican food. Like I've never had a person that say they hate Jamaican food. Jamaicans just know how to cook, and the foods that are main dishes are just very, very good. You know, very good. But I will definitely do more research about Algeria, um, because I think that, very interesting, very, very interesting. I think everybody needs to know everything. Like the world is such a big place. We shouldn't just be limited to where we are. We should know different cultures and different people. And you get to know different people when you travel or when you go to college, because people from all over go to college. People from all over the country will come to a college, come to a university. So it's good to know other countries and other cultures. And I feel like we should not judge. Don't judge, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We may do things a little bit differently, but we're still humans. At that, we all, you know, leave this earth at the end of the day. So we should definitely embrace our different cultures and embrace differences. So I think that's what's wrong with the world, that people cannot embrace other cultures. Like they look at someone and say, "Oh, you have to be like me. You have to look like me." No, you do not. It makes it more interesting that we're all different. But you know what? We all can coexist together. We all can coexist together and live together, on this planet Earth. Like no one owns the earth, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about embracing different cultures, you know? That's definitely how I feel. And I feel like people should be more conscious of, treating others well, treating others how they would like to be treated. That is not a Jamaican dish. That's your fellow Ghanaian dish. That's Ghana and Nigeria. I've never had the dish, but I did see it on YouTube. I forgot the name of the dish. It's from Ghana, where it looks like mashed potato and they eat it with the meat and their hand. That's not a Jamaican dish. They use actually cassava. I think they use cassava. It's not potato. They use cassava and make it. What is it called again? It's on the tip of my tongue. Ooh, I can't remember it. But I've never tried it, but I will try it. I will try it. But it's a okay, that is not a Jamaican dish. It's a fellow African dish. I don't know the name of it. I've never had it, but I see a lot of people go crazy over it on YouTube. But I have never had it. But I think I will try it one day, because we don't eat with our Jamaicans don't eat with our hands, so they eat that with their hands. My African friends, when I was in college, like they invited me over to their house, and this was a long time ago, and there was no fork. They said they eat with their hands. And I'm like, what? You guys eat with your hands? And that's when I first learned that some African people eat with their hands. They don't eat with forks. What is the name of that dish? It's like, I have to look it up. I have to go to Google. They call it fufu. They call it fufu. So what you're looking at is fufu. So what you're looking at is fufu. we're teaching we're teaching each other, because I have That is not even my culture, and I'm teaching you. That's Ghanaian culture. See, that's the dish. They eat that with their hands, but it's made of cassava. You know, it's like one of their main dishes. How do I remove that? It's called fufu. Fufu. That is so crazy that you're in Africa and you don't know that. But you know, when I'm on social media and I follow Maya, which you probably should follow him because he's in your fellow country of Africa. So you guys eat mostly bread. Do you guys eat rice? What is like a dish that you guys eat? Can you name a dish that you guys eat in Algeria that besides couscous? What other dishes are you known for? You know? Yeah, that's his name. Wode. Wodemaya. Wodemaya. He goes all over Africa and, go to different places in Africa. And sometimes I have not watched him in a while, but I'll try to watch him again. I'll, yeah, he's really good and he visits. Um, he went to school in China and then he didn't really like China. He knows how to speak Chinese and then he came back to Africa. So he's doing a lot of, based on his YouTube, he's doing a lot of good things in Africa and he goes all over. So I love to see that. And I got addicted to his channel in 2020 during COVID. I don't know how it popped up. And so that's how I'm like so in love and obsessed with Africa because of his videos. And I would love, but I had in college, I had a Nigerian friend. She was born in the US, but she was raised with Nigerian. No, she's Ghanaian. I'm sorry. She's Ghanaian. And that's how I came to love the continent of Africa because of her. And I really, really wish someday I can go, you know? So that's how I had friends in college who were African. So before college, I didn't have any African friends, but I gained African friends and learned a little bit more about Africa. But now you're teaching me different parts of Africa, so that's good. But it was great chatting with you. We were on here for so long, and I have to go for now. I may come back on in a little bit, but it's so late here, 8:33 p.m., and I have to make sure. Oh man, I don't know what those are, but I'll look it up. Okay, I will look it up, but I do have to run off live now because, I have to go. It's 8:33 and I have not eaten dinner yet, so it's so late, which is so bad. But I have to do that, guys. Thank you for chatting with me. It was so great. I may come back on later because I am pretty much free for the holidays. It's free now, free to do whatever, just relax and chill and just talk. But yeah, thank you for talking with me. I can't pronounce your name, but I do thank you for talking to me. And I hope you do well in school if we don't talk again. And I hope you do well. And I will definitely look up those dishes and research a lot about Algeria for sure. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you come again. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and have a great night or great day if you're in Africa because it's the morning. Bye bye. Enjoy.